Oh, there's definitely spirit.
Hey guys, it's me, Kayla. Welcome to my kingdom. Hopefully I don't look like a crazy psychopath or anything with my smile. I'm smiling too big, just tell me in the comments below, subscribe, everything. Plug all that in, hit the bell, follow me on Instagram at King Kayla, follow me on Twitter at King Kayla, okay? All of that stuff. But hi guys, again, welcome to my kingdom. And just get used to it. I'm King Kayla, so I have a kingdom, If you subscribe, you're part of the kingdom, subscribe. That's probably not the side that it's gonna be on. Anyways, today I am going to be doing a type of video that I've never really done before, and I'm so excited. I actually did on-scene filming for this, and yeah, so hopefully this turns out almost like a BuzzFeed Unsolved video, because those are my favorite videos ever. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Wipple Lacey house in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And get this, guys, it's haunted, okay? I can vouch for that myself. I went there. It's freaking haunted. So to give you guys a little bit of a background behind the Wipple Lacey house, it was built by Ithmar Wipple. I think that's how you say his name. It's spelt like this, okay? But it was built by Ithmar Wipple 7 years before Wyoming's statehood in 1883. This historic house is known by the locals to be haunted. The first owner, Ithmar Wipple, was a wealthy merchant and a cattle baron. He eventually sold the house to Territorial Supreme Court Justice John Lacey, which is why it's called the Wipple Lacey house. Anyways, Lacey was the defender of notorious outlaw Tom Horn and infamous oilman Harry Sinclair. And later, eventually, the home became a men's club, and then it fell into disrepair. But in 1986, it was completely restored to its original state. Now the house stands as I forgot what it was called. But anyways, it is not a tourist attraction, and I hope you guys get this down 100%. It is not a tourist attraction. Not at all. People aren't even allowed into this house normally. Except for the people that work there. They're social workers, I think. But all I know is my aunt works there, and that's why I was able to go into the house. But this house is not a tourist attraction. A lot of the original furniture is there. All the architecture is so beautiful, and it's just absolutely amazing. But it is known by the locals to be extremely haunted, and my aunt herself believes this to be 100% true. Her claims are the toilet flushes on its own. She hears children's laughter. She can see Miss Lacey in the windows. But I have never felt anything like the way I've felt in this house before in my entire life. And I've always thought that I've been to places that were legitimately haunted, and I don't believe those places were legitimately haunted anymore, because I've been to this place, and this place is haunted. More information on the Wipple house. Tom Horn, if you don't already know who Tom Horn is, Thomas Horn Jr., aka Tom Horn, was an infamous old western cowboy. He was a scout, a soldier, a range detective, and a Pinkerton agent in the 19th century Old West. He is mostly known for the controversial murder of Willie Nickel and the Colorado Range War. When he had allegations of murder, Tom Horn and John Lacey met. Mr. Lacey was a successful lawyer and Chief of Justice of the Wyoming Supreme Court. So this was a legitimate guy, and he lived in the Wipple Lacey house. Wipple Lacey, obviously, in his name. Anyways, so John Lacey and Tom Horn met, and John Lacey became his defense attorney for this murder trial because he was finally being tried for something. But anyways, so John Lacey became his defense attorney, and they eventually lost the case, and Tom Horn was actually hung in Cheyenne, Wyoming, where the Wipple Lacey house stands today. But he was hung, I believe they said that he was hung at the old train depot, which that's what my aunt said, so I don't know, you can't really like find that out. But when I was in the Lacey's house, if you go into their like study or their library area, there's a shelf that's completely just filled with really old law books, and they belong to John Lacey himself. There's a picture of him above the fireplace and a picture of him with his co-workers, and I took a picture in front of there too. And just that study felt eerie, okay? My cousin took a picture in that study, and you can see it looks like a silhouette of a woman, which the main like person that you can see in this house that everyone reports them seeing is Mrs. Lacey, which is John Lacey's wife, right? So that's the person we tried to talk to. I didn't get any like big things. I didn't get like crazy accounts or anything like that. It was just, you know, stuff that some people can explain away, but if you're actually there and know like the full context of the whole situation, a lot of it cannot be explained. To just walking into that house made me feel sick. Like, it was the strangest feeling I've ever felt in my entire life. I've never felt anything like this before. I walked into the house, and if you ever know what I'm trying to say, like, if you go to the mall and you're walking in the mall and it's a really busy day, that feeling you get, like, if you have social anxiety, like, it feels like it's crowded in the mall, right? Well, when I walked into this house, I got that same feeling. The feeling as if it was crowded, like people were standing on both sides of me. Like, it just felt like the whole room was filled, but there was no one there. But me filming going up to this was, haha, this place isn't actually haunted. Like, I don't believe any of it. That's all funny, you know. I'm gonna disprove all of this. But when I actually got there, that feeling, it was just so weird that I felt that way. I felt scared when I got there because I totally 100% was completely skeptical going into this. When I was walking, when I was first in there, it felt like something was brushing past my feet. In that split second, I was just assumed that they had a cat in that building for some reason. I don't know why. It's like an office, but they converted it into like an office basically. But I just assumed that they, for some reason, had a cat there. Which eventually I found out, like, I looked down and there was nothing there. And it was the weirdest feeling ever because it felt clear as day. Like, that's what it felt like. It felt like an animal brushed past my legs. It literally just felt like an animal that had like fur, just like clear as day, brushed past my leg. Later, I found out that they actually had a dog because they had this mantelpiece basically, and it had pictures of the family like on it, right? And there was a picture of a little wiener dog, like a long-haired, almost like long-haired wiener dog. And I was like, oh my god, that was the exact height of what it would be is what I was feeling, right? And I did not know that going into there that they had a wiener dog or anything like that. But I felt this freaking dog, and it wasn't once. It was at least 10 times. Just like right when we first came in, I felt it like constant. I was freaking out, and my family members were laughing at me because of how much I was freaking out at this. So I felt it touching my legs, like almost as if like a dog was happy to have like an owner come home, so it was like all up on you, you know? right? So I was taking pictures on this beautiful like black marble staircase. It was gorgeous. I wanted to take pictures on it. The pictures turned out ugly because I looked terrible that day. Anyways, so I was sitting on the staircase and all I can hear, it sounded like someone was having a conversation upstairs. And oh my god, I'm literally getting goosebumps right now talking about this because I was so scared. At this moment, I was like literally like this, Mom, hurry, take the picture, take the picture, take the picture. I don't want to sit here no more. If I was listening to someone talk about it on YouTube, I would not believe them, okay? But I believe me because I freaking felt it myself. It was in the basement. We saw a lot of creepy freaking dolls. That was scary, okay? Why they fill that house with creepy old dolls? I don't know. Don't know. Don't care. Don't want to know about that. Bye. Anyways, so we were downstairs walking through the basement and we walked past this like a greenhouse type thing where they had these plants under like this black light, right? So they're just sitting there. Don't know what they were there for, but they were there probably for a reason. But we walked past that and went to the old staircase that leads up the stairs too, but it's not the one we came down on, and no one ever uses that. And my cousin scared me when we're standing by there, so I just shone my camera up the staircase and there was nothing there. And then I went through the whole entire footage frame by frame. Insane, right? I thought I saw something move on the stairs. I was like, oh my god, did I actually get footage of this dog that I felt? And I was like, I hope I got footage of the dog that I felt so I can know for sure that there's a freaking dog haunting this house, right? So I took screenshots from the video, and then I went over to my photo like enhancing thing that I use to, you know, change the brightness on my pictures that I take for Instagram, or like use text or different filters that they don't have on Instagram. I have one of those things, right? So I just went on that with the screenshots and just enhance it all the way and use the brightness all the way. And I no kid you, there was a freaking little boy sitting on the stairs, and he was like scooting down the stairs on his butt, okay? Like in frame by frame, you could see him like kind of move before he disappears and he's not in the other frames. Like, oh my freaking god. And another thing, when we were walking back to go to the area that goes through another area to go up the stairs, it's hard to explain, but anyways, we were walking back and there was a room right here and it was like empty. There was nothing in there except for a little table, like a little tiny table. Don't know why that was there, just an empty room with a little tiny table. Great. Anyways, we were walking back from there and all of a sudden the door starts to close and my aunt freaks out, and it was just my mom. My mom was just standing behind the door ready to scare someone, okay? And most of the things I did not catch until I went through the footage again and then went frame by frame too, and then I saw all the stuff on there. I was like, what? One thing I wanted to note is the Freemasons, right? This house is said to be built in association with the Freemasons. So I did some research on them. Extensive research. Took forever. I wanted to cry. Literally my whole day, like. So the Freemasons trace their origins to local fraternities of the stonemasons. And if you don't know what the stonemasons are, stonemasonry is just a classification of like architects basically or builders. They build using the medium stone. A local unit of Freemasons are classified in lodges, and these lodges are ran or governed, like supervised or governed by the Grand Lodge or the Grand Ornate, right? So then the Freemasons have lodges worldwide. This is not just America. It actually originated in Europe in the 1700s, and it moved over to America in the early stages of one of the Freemason symbols is the pyramid with the eye on top of it. You know, that's on the dollar bill, like the all-seeing eye on top of the pyramid, right? So that's one of their symbols. So that's technically what that stands for is, you know, the stonemasons built the pyramid, right? And the Freemasons are just coming from the organization. They were eventually outlawed in Europe, but they still exist to this day in America. I know the stonemasons are, like, they fundraise for different things, which is really interesting to think about because, like, they actually exist. And I'll tell you how crazy it is to think about them actually existing. The stonemasons were supervised by these grand lodges, which were ultimately controlled by an institution that is both historically real and through the years of tall tales being told about it is turned into something very fictitious, like fictional basically. And this organization is the Illuminati! The freaking Illuminati! Okay? The Illuminati is the people that governed these Freemasons, and the Freemasons are real, but once, a long time ago in the 1700s in the past, the Illuminati was a real thing, okay? It was. But it was outlawed in Europe, but so was the Masons. But the Masons are still in America, so you don't know. Maybe the Illuminati is still governing them, and you don't know about that, okay? Or the Illuminati symbols are actual Freemason symbols, which, I'm getting to this part, the original building of the house is said to be by Freemasons, governed by the Illuminati, and this can be seen in the architecture, which I'm going to insert pictures now. Oh my god, you can see the symbols that are the same for the Freemasons, which I have a chart that has symbols from the Freemasons, which is an actual, like, verified thing. It's a chart of the Freemasons. Yeah, and they're meaning like healer and everything like this, but these symbols were engraved in the architecture. Even the smallest, like, minuscule parts of the architecture in the house, these things were engraved. And that just blows my mind. Like, what? It just adds so much more character to the house as well. But as you can tell, this house was so pretty. All the architecture is amazing. And after all this extensive research and all this, you know, examination and everything, it's only up for you to decide whether this house is actually haunted or not.
You will feel it breathing of somebody.
Different
My
people.
husband's the one you might want to, because
Yeah.
he's done a lot of repairs here.
That's right.
Okay. So, like, what have you, like, experienced in the house or whatever?
Oh, there's definitely spirit,
Really?
because if you take and set pennies out randomly, they all end up being stacked
Yeah?
next to the piano.
Like,
Just
not anything crazy?
random doors, you know, you hear doors shutting and stuff.
I just had to let you know you're mine.